Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Amanda. Today we are making a loose fit trouser pattern. If you are interested in it, kindly watch till the end. This tutorial is beginner friendly, so you don't have to worry. So I'm using a brown paper to draft this pattern. First thing I'm going to be doing is to divide my hip by 4, which is 42 inches. I had 10.5 inches, and then I'll be adding 1.5 inches to it, making 12 inches. So your hip by 4 plus 1.5 inches. After that, the next thing you're going to be doing is to connect the points together using your ruler. Next, I'll be measuring the length of my trouser. The length of this brown paper is 40 inches, which is actually my length, so I'll be adding extra 2 inches to it, to the hem when I'm about to cut on my fabric. So this pattern doesn't have sewing allowance at the hem. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark that same hip by 4. That is 10.5 inches. Note with this we are not adding anything to it. So your hip by 4, mark it on the waistline and then on the hip line. Then connect the points together like I have done. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to go out on the hip line by 2¼ inches. 2¼ inches, and then I'll be going up by 2 inches. Note the difference, 2¼ by 2 inches. So the next thing I'll be doing is to connect the points together using my curve. Just place it on it this way and draw out your curve. Next thing to do now is to mark my waist measurement. My waist by 4 is 7.25, so that is what I'm marking over there, 7.25. After marking the 7.25, I'll add extra 1 inch to it for the dart, and then extra ½ inch to it for sewing. So when you get your waist measurement, you're adding 1.5 inches to it. That is 1 inch for that, ½ inch for stitching. Next, I'll be connecting from that point to meet the hip line, just like this. The next thing I'm going to be doing now is to label the points so you don't get confused. That is the hip line, and then that is our waistline. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to divide from the hip line to the hem. Note the hem doesn't have sewing allowance, that is folding allowance. So whatever you get by dividing it into 2, I had 14 inches here. So after that, I'll be going up by 2 inches. When you divide it by 2, whatever you get, you move up by 2 inches to get your knee line. Divide from the hip to the hem by 2, then you go up by 2 inches, get the knee line. After that, I'll go ahead and connect the points together to get a straight line, just like this. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to measure it so that you know exactly what I am doing. From here, I'll be dividing this line into 2. So just place your tape measure on it like I have done. Fold it into 2 to get the center. After getting the center, you are going to be marking that same thing on the knee and then the ankle line. So just like this. After marking, I'll be connecting the points together using my ruler to get a straight line at the center. This will help us get our knee and ankle measurement right. Next thing to do is to measure your knee. Note this is a loose fit trouser, so you are making sure you're not measuring tight on the body. It should be loose on the body the way you want it to be. So I'm dividing 17.5 into 2. So this is what I had after dividing it by 2. And whatever you get after dividing it by 2, you are going to divide that by 2 again. This is because we are putting half of that measurement on one side and the other on the other side. So after marking that, I'll go ahead and add ½ inch on both sides. put ½ inch on both sides. This is because we are working on a loose fit pant. So I'm adding that ½ inch to it. One will serve as sewing allowance. So after this, the next thing I'll be doing is to work on the hem of my pants or the hem of the trouser. So I'm using 14 inches for the hem. So I'm going to be dividing 14 by 2, which is 7 inches. Note you are going to be dividing that 7 inches by 2 again and put 3.5 inches on one side and another 3.5 inches on the other side. So at the end of the day, when you measure, you are going to be getting 7 inches. I added ½ inch on both sides as well, just like I did for the knee. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to connect the points together. So if you have a trouser curve, you go ahead and use that to join or connect the points together. But then if you don't, you can still use the straight ruler for that. So I realized the lower part of my pattern wasn't showing while connecting, but then all I did was to connect to the points at the hem. So just do it like that. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to join or connect this line to the waist to enable or help me put in my dart. So I'm going to be using 3.5 inches for the front dart, and the size of the dart is going to be 1 inch, so ½ inch on both sides. After that, I'll go ahead and connect the point with my ruler just like this. So at this point, I want to show you how it will look like when you use the curve. We are going to be taking this excess off when you use the trouser curve, but like I said, if you don't have it, just use the straight ruler. So at this point, I'm cutting the front out, and after that, I'll be working on on the back. So after cutting it off, I went ahead to lay my brown paper down again, and I'm going to be putting this on top of it. I'm going to be putting brown paper under it. So the size of this brown paper is about 5 inches long. So this is just to help me with the waist. So after placing that brown paper under, I'll go ahead and then work on the crotch area. So for the back, I'll be adding 3 inches to it. If you have a bigger butt, you can make it 3.5. So after marking the 3 inches, I came down by ½ inch, and I'm going to be connecting it to the front part of the crotch. But before that, I'm adding 2 inches at the waist, and somewhere midpoint of that area, I marked 2 inches as well, and I'm going to be connecting it to the crotch area at the back. So just like this. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to redraw the line so you see it well. So this is how the back is going to look like. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to add 2 inches to the waist. 2 inches to the waist, and I'm going to be connecting it to the side of the trouser. So if you have a curve also, you can use it for the waist, but if you don't, use the straight ruler. Next, I added 1.5 inches to the knee line and then 1.5 inches to the ankle. You can use 2 inches, it's also okay. So I'm going to be marking the center of the dart on the back pattern, and then I'll go ahead and cut out the back pattern. So after cutting out, I'm going to be marking or pinning that center part on the hip line, and then I'm going to be drawing a straight line over there to help me get my dart. So I'm using 4.5 inches for the back dart. You can use from 4 to 5.5 inches depending on the size of your butt. So next thing I'm doing is to mark my darts, and then I'm going to be connecting the points together to get my darts. So this is the back. You can decide to trace all the lines on the back. Just place it on top of it and then mark the points, and after that you go ahead and connect it together with your ruler, It's just simple as that, or you can also decide to ignore it. But to be on a safer side, or as a beginner, you need to put in all these lines so that you can understand it better. So after this, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to take 1/2 inch from the front side, or the center front at the waistline. So if you have a curve, use it for this particular part. If you don't, use your ruler. So you note that I didn't take out the 1/2 inch before I drafted the back, but then I drafted the back pattern before taking out that 1/2 inch. Take note of that. So at this point, I'm done with my pattern. This is how it looks like. I have my front and back pattern ready. All you have to do is to place it on your fabric and cut. I hope this tutorial was helpful. Thanks for watching. See you another time. Bye.